Dad Lifehacker here. We were live before with Liam Lifehacker, who's actually just behind us playing some VR. I'm not sure if I can get him in the shot. There we go. He's behind us at FreeSpace VR Arcade here in Brisbane. And we had Liam had a chat with Nick before, but I thought while Liam is busying himself over there playing VR, I might have a chat with you, mate.
Sounds good.
And we'll see if this, see whether Liam deletes the video afterwards on his channel, because I've sort of taken over.
Yep, fair enough.
But we'll see how we go. So like I said, we are at FreeSpace VR Arcade here in Brisbane. You would have to be one of Brisbane's first, if not the first, actual VR arcade like this.
We are the first VR arcade, yes.
There we go. So the first VR arcade in Brisbane. Are there many others in Australia?
About 12 altogether. So we've got...
Is there really 12 in the country?
Yeah, we've got, I think there's 5 down in Melbourne right now.
Right.
4 in Sydney.
Okay.
There's 1 in Perth, 1 in Gold Coast, a small one down in Gold Coast.
Yep.
And I think 1 in Cairns, but I'm not 100% certain about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
a couple in Newcastle as well, funnily enough.
Really?
Yeah, bit of a uni town, so bit of a
going
crowd
out and
for
doing it. Well done. And so you've been open, you said before you've been open about 3 weeks?
Yeah, just going off, almost 4 weeks now.
4
Actually, almost
weeks.
a month, yeah.
Wow. So why?
Well, I've spent the last 10 years working in aviation as a pilot, and I've been thinking for the last little while, I want to take a bit of a break.
Yep.
I'd also been thinking about buying my own Vive headset for home.
Yep.
So tried out an arcade in Sydney, just had a bit of a test of the Vive and the Oculus to see which one I wanted.
Yep.
And really loved the Vive and came back to Brisbane and thought, still not quite sold on which one I want. I want to try it again.
Yep.
Started looking around and realised there was nothing in Brisbane. I'm like, why is there no arcade in Brisbane yet? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was sort of the start of the thought process, and wheels started turning about a year ago, and here we are now.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So you were choosing between the Vive and the HTC. So the Vive and the Oculus, which I struggled with as well.
Yeah.
I ended up going with the Oculus, but
Yep.
essentially because it was going to be available earlier.
Yeah.
That's why I went for that, and I
Yep.
played with the DK2.
Okay.
For work, and that was fun.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
had some experience with it.
Yeah, cool.
But commercially, the Vive works better for you. Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it comes down to more the tracking than anything. You know,
Right. Yeah.
They both got good tracking, but the Vive's tracking is a bit more. It's a bit better suited to these big open areas
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
and it's a bit more accurate as well.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. So out of the arcades, the software that we use, they're reporting over 1,200 headsets they support. 98% of them are Vive right now. So
90, you hear that? 98% of the arcades. Wow. Well, I heard that was it CES?
Yeah.
Obviously a couple of months ago, but most of the demos and everything that were on the floor were HTC.
That's what I was hearing as well.
Yeah.
I think HTC had a part of that because obviously they're trying to push the Pro and things like that. But it is a more popular one. I think for home use, the Oculus is quite popular because of the price point.
Yep.
But Vive beats it pretty well in most areas right now.
And you mentioned that how far away is the Vive Pro in Aussie?
It's been launched. You can purchase it now, and I think they start shipping late April.
Yeah, right.
Is when they should be coming through.
Have you had a play?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I missed. There was a launch party down the road here, but unfortunately I was working.
Oh, no!
Everyone came from the launch party and came here afterwards,
gutted.
but no one was able to steal the Vive Pro from me to check.
Next time you want me to come here so you can go to a party, I'll look after this one. It's fine.
Sounds good.
We'll do that. Well, that'd be a fair trade.
You know, you actually have to watch the front door. You
I
can't just sit there
I
and play
can't do
the
that.
entire
Oh,
time.
okay, really? Okay, well, I'll think I might retract my offer. No, that's all right. No, that sounds cool, man. Yeah, well, Nathy actually did a review of the Pro. I think he set the video up today.
Yeah.
It's about 20 minutes long, so I must have a look at that. But
Yeah.
looks pretty cool.
It looks great. Everything I've seen says, they're talking 78% increase in the DPI. It's a big step up.
Yep.
But it's also a big price point. So
Well, it's the same price isn't it? The same price for the headset as it was for the headset plus the sensory things. What's the special word for the sensors?
For the lighthouses.
Lighthouses, thank you. Cheers.
$1,200 it is right now for the Vive just by itself, just the headset. So if I could get it for $1,200 as a package with the controllers and the lighthouses, I'd do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of people are thinking the same thing. It comes down to being too much by itself.
It is, but we're still in early adopter phase.
Oh,
It's completely an early adopter phase. I mean, we were saying before about the rigs that you're running for actually the computers that you're running here. I mean, they're not cheap.
No.
So to get started, you really, I mean, when I got my Oculus, I think it was a $3.5 grand PC.
I'd tell anyone,
You know?
if they're looking to do it properly, if they really want to get into VR,
Yeah.
3,500 is sort
You
of
have
what
to.
you're looking at least.
Yeah.
You know, anything lower than that, you're compromising, to be honest.
I'd had to work really hard to get that past the wife, to be honest. It's tax deductible, darling.
It's a business expense.
Your
I must keep
business
up with it all.
expense. Yes, exactly. And then I've got to do this and buy that, and it was fun. We worked it out. It was cool.
See, that's why it's easy. I'm single, so I don't have anyone to buy. It's just
Just buy
like, if I want to buy one, I'm just going to go out and buy one.
He's
Done.
single and poor because he's got like how many systems have we got here?
So we've got 7 systems altogether.
Right.
So yeah, the 5 freestanding and
Yep.
the 2
The 2 driver
yeah,
things.
driving flight simulators at the top there. So,
We will go.
yeah.
We'll go and we'll have a look around in a minute.
Yep.
I mean, I like I said, I'm sort of, because my experience has mainly been Oculus. There's the Oculus Go, which looked like it'd be a nice sort of consumer entry.
Yep.
No 6 degrees of freedom or whatever the phraseology
Yep.
is. You
Yep.
sort of just got the little wand and you do the thing.
Yeah.
But $200 price point, man.
Like the penetration of those is going to be huge.
It is going to be huge.
It is bringing it to that point where people can go,
Just buy it.
Cool, VR, let's get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
what I was saying was that at GDC was that people are they're just, as an entry level system, fantastic. Get into it.
Yep.
But once they've had something like this, like we're seeing, you know, with the kids,
Yep.
Flick that round again. You know, they're going to want systems like this. So it's I think it's going to be great for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
To be able to have.
Oh, you need more
that
options
sort of system.
to sort
you
of,
do.
I mean, people are very hesitant, obviously, to spend $3,500, $4 grand, you know, straight up. If they can get into something like this and then go, is this for me or not for me?
Yep.
You know, I mean, to be perfectly honest, that's why I feel the arcade's going to work best, because at our price point, it means it actually becomes a lot more convenient to do it this way for
it does.
a whole variety of reasons, you know, not just the price, but
Yep.
you know, you want to play a couple of games against each other, then
Yeah.
you're doubling the price. Now you need 2 stations on
Yeah.
there, and you know, you can easily spend $500 or $1,000 a year just on games, you know, let alone the equipment. So
Yeah, and I think the thing with the games as well is that the games ecosystem within VR, it's continually changing, continually rolling.
Yep.
And to be able to come here, and even if you are an owner,
Yep.
to be able to come here and go, okay, well, I've got 30 games to try.
yeah.
Just come and plonk down your, what is it, 35 an hour?
Yep,
We're looking at
35 an hour at the moment,
35
yep.
bucks an hour.
Yep.
So even if you own one of these systems, like own the Rift or own the HTC, you come down here, experience all these games, and spend your money, and then go home and buy, because it's like a bit expensive. Like
It is.
I think some of the games are
Yep.
up to $100 or even more in some instances.
They're getting that way. I mean, the VR ones are actually still on the lower price point. They haven't reached
Yeah.
that AAA sort of title
But they
riding
will.
right now. Oh, they'll get there
They will.
eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
mean,
think $50 is probably the top.
yeah, like
Is it
even
around there?
Fallout 4, I think is around $50, $60 last time I checked, unless you get a good deal on it. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but there was a pack. I mean, Oculus has got this sale at the moment.
Yeah.
I think one of the packs was $350.
yeah.
You know, it's just plonked down for 5 games, which again is probably a very good deal. I'm not saying that it's not a good deal, but coming here and just being able to experience,
Yep.
you know, like I say, even if you're owner, brilliant.
A lot of the
Absolutely
games as
brilliant.
well in VR, as you said, you know, they're pumping content out because people are figuring out VR. They're figuring out what
Well, the
works
developers
and
are.
what doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. They're
Yeah.
trying everything right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games, because of that, they only have a small amount of replay value. There might only be 30 minutes sort of worth of actual play before you've done everything in them.
The worst okay, I'm gonna tell you the thing about replay value.
Yep.
The worst VR game I paid $15 for this sucker.
Yeah.
Was the Mars one with Matt Damon. You know,
Oh, I heard about that.
Dude,
yeah.
it was terrible.
Yep.
I paid $15 because I thought that'd be cool, on the surface of Mars and all the rest.
Yep.
The worst VR experience I've ever
Which end
had.
up paying about $1 a minute for it,
Oh
basically.
yeah, exactly right. I think even the kids were like, no, this is not how VR should be.
Yeah.
So the sooner the developers and the game titles work out, you know, like you say, what's best in terms of locomotion,
Yeah.
what's best in terms of replayability.
Yeah.
I was probably spent more time in. I don't know what I've spent more time in. Actually, probably at the very beginning, it was just the Vive space thing with the catapult and the
lab.
the lab.
Yeah.
I must have spent more
people
time.
love the lab.
The
Yeah,
lab
yeah.
is just fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just you don't need to think. You
Yeah.
throw things and hit things.
The best VR experiences right now, the ones that, you know, you've noticed probably the graphics and everything, they're not
Yeah.
up to scratch with what we have these days, you know, they're not AAA titles, but the games that embrace that,
Yep.
that go, our graphics are not great, we're focusing on the mechanics,
Well,
we're
that's like-
focusing on
well,
experience,
that's like
that's
Super
what
Hot VR.
works. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's
Not high graphics,
No.
and it doesn't try to
But
be
it's the
something it's
gameplay.
not. That's it.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and
Yep.
it keeps dragging you back in.
Yep.
Games like that, that's what does well. That's
Yeah.
what we're noticing here as well.
Yep.
There's some real fancy looking ones, like the ILM, the Star Wars one, Trials on Tatooine.
Oh, you play with the lightsaber and you go, that's fun.
It's great, but it's about 5-10 minutes
Yeah,
long, and that's
yeah.
it.
You're left wanting more.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I downloaded that, and when I had my Vive set up in my office, and the amount of things I pushed off tables, because it was just, everything was just quite a little bit out of reach.
Yeah.
I'd trip over, and so I've moved to the lounge now.
Yeah.
Reclaimed the
Safer
lounge.
area.
Yeah, basically. Needed to, man, otherwise
Yep.
I was going to kill my office. That's fun. So Liam asked you before where you see the future. I mean, we're talking about obviously having no tethers, wireless, probably a little bit dangerous in a situation like this.
Yeah.
People wandering off.
Yep.
But do you see that is a future for is this stage one obviously?
Yes.
And
this is the beginning. The wave's just starting right now for VR. You
Yep.
know, it's for the arcade perspective. This is the first time that it's been really viable from a consumer point
Yep.
of view. We've got the hardware is now powerful enough to be able to drive it to
Yep.
a point where it's not a gimmick.
Yep.
There's enough developers getting behind it, you know, and that's thanks to Unity and Unreal really
Oh, they're
pushing
pushing it.
hard
Yeah.
on their tools
Yep.
and doing a really good
Yep.
job and giving people what they need to do it.
yeah,
And
they're not backwards
yeah.
in coming forward. The good thing about those organisations is that there's so much resource out there.
Yeah.
Like you can sit down on YouTube. I'm not a Unity developer or anything like that, but
Well,
I
you
can
could
sit
learn
down.
most of it in a
Dude,
couple of days,
I can watch
yeah.
an hour and just be like, wow.
Yep.
Bring it on, you know, and just get
Yeah.
that experience. So I think that
Yeah.
they're doing a fantastic
Yeah.
job, and I hope they
And
remain viable.
That's
Yeah.
the best part about it. They're just putting so much resources into it. And
Yeah.
when a group like, you know, Unreal and Unity get behind it, you know, that's when you know it's the future. When
Yeah.
they say this is the future,
Yep.
like, yes, and it is. You know, not even just from a gaming point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as I said to Liam earlier, this is a technology that's going to penetrate every industry
Yep.
in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I would actually say that I mean that's already started in so many
Yeah.
different ways that we can't even think to imagine. You know,
Yep.
you've got the Elon Musks of this world doing things in VR. You know, with materials handling, and you know, that was a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's blasting rockets off and doing all sorts of things. So
Sticking a car into a rocket and
yeah,
blasting it in
just-
space,
yeah.
off he goes. Why
Yeah.
not?
And
Yeah.
started off with the HTC, you know, living with a Vive,
Yeah.
modelling
Like,
things in space.
Training perspectives, you know, we're seeing some absolutely amazing things. You know, big corporate, big mining companies, they're jumping on it. You
Yep.
know, to be able to take a truck driver and teach him on, you know, 10 grand worth of equipment instead of sticking you into a couple of $100,000 or a couple of $1 million worth of truck to learn in. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's a no-brainer right there.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on mixed reality and AR and things like Magic Leap and all that kind of stuff?
They're all going to have their own place.
Yep.
You know, nothing's going
Oh,
to.
yeah, yep.
None of them is going to take over one or the other. They're
No.
all going to find their niche. You know, things
Yep.
like your HoloLens. I love watching the HoloLens
Yep.
videos, especially training environments.
Yep.
You know, you get a dude who rocks up at a site to pull something apart, like an elevator.
Yep.
Puts it on, looks at the elevator, everything's overlaid, every part, every
Yep.
number, all the details about that specific one. He can't figure out something,
Yep.
no worries. He calls up a supervisor who's sitting in the office,
Mm-hmm.
it all gets beamed into it, and the supervisor goes, look to your right, there's your
There it
problem,
is. Yeah.
here's how you fix it. He
Yeah.
puts it up there, and the guy's like, great, I'm good to go.
Well, that was the promise of Glass, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, I mean,
I think
they have
Glass is-
re-released, and
Glass
they've,
is
you know,
still going to happen.
It is still going to, yeah. Well,
Everyone's
just from a
kind of
lightness
shut it
perspective.
down, but I reckon they're bubbling beneath the surface, and they're just waiting to be able to bring it out to a consumer level that works.
I don't know if they'll ever get to a point where it's consumer level necessarily. A part of the technology maybe,
Yeah.
but how they change their focus to go into you know industrial and commercial environments. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
smart.
absolutely.
They're the guys who can afford to invest in the development of the actual platform that needs to run specifically for that.
Yeah.
But Magic Leap's the one that, you know, obviously is the tips of everyone's lips. And
Well,
you've obviously signed up as a developer and have one in a safe locked somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I've
we're not allowed to
I've
see it.
actually sink
Just-
it inside the ground. There's a
Yeah, I
laser
would've
grid that
thought-
goes over the top
yeah,
of it. It's
yeah,
all
cool.
required. You know, I'm
But
actually
that
not going
is
to
not-
tell you anything about this at all.
Shouldn't
Whoa.
have brought it up. Sorry.
Oops.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
actually watching everything I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
right now. I'm going to
Bloody
get
hell.
guys knocking down my door soon. Yep.
The demos that are coming out.
Yeah,
for
there's
Leap.
some cool stuff, but it's all. I don't trust most of it at the moment. They've destroyed the trust in the industry. Until we start seeing it in the wild, you know, the developers really get their hands and start doing things properly.
Doing stuff now, though.
As I said, I don't trust most of it. I reckon most of it's being done behind the scenes and CGI.
I have faith. I have faith.
All right. Prove me wrong. Tell me, prove me wrong.
You want to be proven wrong.
I want to be proven wrong. But right now, I don't have any faith in them until they show me something really cool and something out there in the wild.
So you don't believe Shaq when he got up on with the NBA and Adam Silver and said,
I didn't see that.
That was good.
That was
good. He had the system on and everything.
Yep.
He's crazy. Shaq. He's crazy. He's a flipping madman.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Leap. We'll get there. I played with Leap Motion when that first came out.
Oh yeah.
So in that pre-VR, pre-Vive, and all the rest, and even just being able to visualize with your hand and do things, and that was fun.
Oh,
and then I attached it to the front of the Vive.
Sort of things behind it. Like as I said, my background in aviation, I see that being the future of training. You know, when we use really old simulators right now. You know, half the time the aircraft that I'm sitting in that they've simulated into there, it's something I never touched before, which seems ridiculous. Why am I in something, a piece of equipment that I don't know anything about to prove that I can do something? You know, it's like, why not give me a VR representation that's exactly the same as the aircraft I'm actually going to go in the real world and fly.
Well, and your brain figures that out really quickly, that it immerses itself. And this is the thing that if people haven't used VR, it is incredible how quickly your brain, the plasticity of your brain and what you're witnessing just changes. You just feel like you're there. Like you said before, even if it's a low polygon count, you know, or whatever, you're just there.
The brain works in the most amazing ways. Like I'm watching customers when they're in there, and initially everyone's sort of, there's still that disconnect, but you watch them after they really get into a good game, 5-10 minutes later, they completely lose themselves. You know, it only takes 5 or 10 minutes, and the brain works in the most amazing way to bridge the gap between what you're seeing and what your body's actually feeling. And it just, you know, you jump into something like Richie's Plank Experience, and everyone looks at it from the outside and laughs.
Whatever,
and goes, come on, it's not real, it's just a game. You do the same thing to every person. It's like, all right, you jump into there. And they do it. They put it on, they get up to that elevator, it opens up. Visceral reactions. I've actually...
The spider runs towards
I'm actually thinking about putting swear jars at the back of all my stations. I reckon I'm going to double my profits. Just off Richie's Plank Experience and one of the horror games we've got. I will double my profits off that.
The bank will be like, here comes Nick again. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday with his bag of dollar coins ready to change over.
Pretty much,
Well done. Yeah, it's fun. The world is changing at an amazing rate, and it's going to be awesome.
It is.
I really think it's going to be. Well, look, come down here. We're in Brisbane's first VR arcade. It's cheap as chips. Even like I said before, even if you're an owner of a system like this, you need to come and have fun. I'm assuming at some point you're going to be licensed so I can come and have a beer. He's working on it. No, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe alcohol and beer. Yeah, okay.
If you need a beer, Netherworld's down the road. 1 minute, they've got the best beer in Brisbane.
There you go. So come here for a warm up, and then head down and have a beer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
right. Well, I mean, you would come down on a middle of the day, lunch break. You said you got workers rushing down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect little relaxation tool, or just
let out the frustration.
Let out the frustration. Yeah, the bosses just.
If you got the boss, convince him to come in. We got a couple of games you can shoot him. Just shoot him straight away. You know, any frustrations you got set up, there you go. Take it out.
Awesome. Well, mate, I appreciate the chat.
Yeah, thanks very much.
We're going to watch the children over here, and we'll flick back. So we've got James is over in the corner. We've got Liam having fun there, and I reckon you should come down to Free Space VR and have fun, and we'll see you later. Thank you, Liam, for lending us your channel, mate. It's really appreciated. We'll see you later. I'll press that button. That button there. Go. There we go. And